Notice number 1.
Ms Morris?
I move the motion standing in my name on the notice paper relating to progress towards additional housing targets.
Okay, Ms Morris, the question is that the motion be agreed. Ms Morris?
Thank you. Madam Assistant Speaker, helping Canberrans realise their dream of owning their own home is a social, economic and moral imperative. That's because housing is a fundamental ingredient to the well-being, happiness and stability of individuals, families and communities. At all stages of one's life, home ownership leads to both financial and emotional stability and security. It provides the foundation for children and families to flourish. And when Canberra families flourish, Canberra flourishes. This is why I worry when I all too often hear Canberrans talking about what seems to them to be a hopeless aspiration to one day own their own home. Many young Canberrans feel that owning a home will never be in reach for them. Some have told me that they will leave Canberra to buy a home because they believe it's simply impossible to buy one here, even when they have substantial savings and a reasonable income. Others have given up hope, believing purchasing a home is just an insurmountable pipe dream. I see a generation of young people who are preparing to leave school and to make their way in the world, where they see very little hope for their future. And just last week, the Shadow Minister for Youth, Ed Cox, and I met with a very impressive young man entering year 11, and he shared with us the sense of hopelessness that he and many of his peers experience when they look to the future, and they fear that, among other things, they won't be able to buy their own home one day. Sadly, many of the parents and grandparents of such young people are starting to agree. They fear their kids may never be able to buy a home of their own and enjoy the security that comes with it. How could this be? In such a wealthy, prosperous jurisdiction, in such a wealthy, prosperous nation, how can the Australian dream of owning your own home be dying? We must revive the dream of owning your own home so that all aspirational Canberrans can be provided with a stable and secure dwelling place where they can raise their family and be anchored in their community. The Liberals recognise that it is our moral duty to empower people to own their own home, not just for their own welfare, but for the good of society. While renting is an extremely important component of housing, it doesn't offer the same emotional and financial security that home ownership does. And as an experienced renter myself, I know that firsthand. Renters are always faced with the destabilising effects of leases, landlords, short-term living, and uncertainty about the future. By contrast, home ownership provides security and a degree of freedom that renters do not have. A home of your own is something that you can shape and change to fit your way of life and reflect your personality. If there is a garden, trees and shrubs are planted and we see them grow and provide shade and privacy. The benefits of a sense of place, your own place, are wide and deep. Your home is a place where over the years and decades, memories are made. And as the years pass, a family may grow and want to move to a home that is larger or better situated for a family's needs. And owning your own home provides an asset that helps you to make that move possible. And in the long term, when the children have grown up and left home and mum and dad have retired, a home of their own will be a key factor in their emotional and financial well-being. According to the Association of Superannuated Funds of Australia, over a 30-year retirement, renters will pay over $435,000 more than retirees who own their own home. Home ownership and superannuation are key factors in determining whether Canberrans will retire comfortably. The shortfall in affordable housing that meets the wants and needs of Canberrans has a profound cost at every stage of life. This cost is reflected in the booming housing market over the border, fed in considerable part by Canberrans, very often Canberra families who are moving to New South Wales for a block of land and a house that they cannot afford to buy here in the ACT. The developments just across the border in Jerrabomberra, Googong, and now South Jerrabomberra and Jumping Creek reflect this demand, as do developments further afield in Bungendore and Murrumbateman. These former Canberrans continue to work in Canberra, but they pay their rates and taxes in New South Wales. Our inability to meet the ACT's demand for housing has financial implications for the Territory. Now, this motion doesn't pretend to fix Labor's housing crisis in one go, but what it does intend to do is to bring to light an area of utmost significance to the future of Canberra. This motion states the bare facts on the size of the problem and calls on the government to improve the flow of information on housing supply in Canberra and on the government's policy response. Canberra is growing quickly. By 2050, Canberra is expected to have around 700,000 people. At the last election, the Canberra Liberals recognised our city would need to build 125,000 new homes to house our growing population. ACT Labor committed to delivering 30,000 homes by 2030, and it's a start, but they're already failing and falling behind. To achieve this target, the ACT government needs to see the completion of roughly 1,250 homes per quarter. And data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics shows that the ACT is already more than 1,000 homes behind. And this is not a small bump, it's a big deficit which will only get bigger. Despite a recent uptick in the latest quarter, the ACT has completed fewer homes in the last 12 months to September last year than in the 12 months to December 5 years ago. New home commencements show a similar shortfall, and new home approvals in the 12 months to September 2025 are less than half of where they were 7 years ago. The pipeline is thinning, and that means fewer new homes in the years ahead. In the middle of a housing crisis, we are approving, commencing and completing fewer homes now than we were only a few years ago. Mr. Assistant Speaker, this housing crisis is a social crisis. A home of your own is far more than just a form of accommodation. It's an expression of hope and aspiration for the future, and I trust that everyone in this Assembly agrees.
Question is the motion be agreed.